Your money will never grow until your mindset grows first. A rich life begins in the mind before it ever shows in your bank account. Wealth does not come from how much you earn, but from how wisely you use and multiply what you already have. The right habits create the freedom you dream about. Financial freedom is not about luck or chance. It's about learning the rules and applying them with consistency and clarity. Today, we will talk about how to master wealth using timeless financial wisdom that still works in 2026 and beyond. The economy may change, but the principles of building lasting wealth remain the same. Whether you're starting from scratch or trying to level up, there are strategies that can change your life when used with intention. This is not about shortcuts or hype. It's about creating real financial security with clarity, discipline, and purpose. If you're ready to shift your money mindset and take control of your financial future, then let's dive in. Number 1. Start investing early with long-term financial goals. Most people wake up every day and feel like they're running behind in life. They're exhausted not just physically but emotionally, tired of living paycheck to paycheck, tired of seeing time pass by without progress, tired of knowing they could be doing better but never really changing anything. They tell themselves it'll get better next year. But the truth is, unless you make it better today, next year will look just like this one. It doesn't matter how good your intentions are if your habits stay the same. And one of the habits most people never develop early enough, the one that quietly decides the future, is investing. Not just saving a little money when it's convenient, but truly investing. Starting early, starting smart, starting with a goal that's bigger than just making it to Friday. If you're in your 20s, 30s, or even 40s and you haven't started investing with intention, that's not a reason to beat yourself up. It's a reason to start now. There is no power stronger in your financial journey than time, and you only get so much of it. You won't always be young. You won't always have the same energy. But the earlier you begin, the more advantage you give yourself, because time is like a silent partner. It works in the background. It doesn't ask for credit. It doesn't make noise, but it multiplies everything you do. If you put a small amount away consistently over time, and you do it early, that small amount has the potential to become something extraordinary. Not by luck, not by guessing, but by the math of compound growth and the discipline of long-term thinking. Most people don't invest early because they think they need a lot of money to start. That's not true. What you need more than anything is a mindset shift. You have to stop thinking that wealth is something you chase later. Wealth is something you build now. You don't wait to earn more to start investing. You start with what you have and the discipline to stay with it. If you can afford to spend $100 a month on entertainment, then you can afford to invest. It's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you have. People who win with money start making better choices before they have more money. That's how they end up with more. Look, the world will constantly offer you reasons to delay. There will always be bills, always be something urgent pulling at your wallet. But here's the reality. If you don't make your financial future a priority now, you'll spend your entire life responding to problems instead of building a life with options. That's what money does. It gives you choices. It gives you space. It gives you time. And those things are worth more than any car or phone or status symbol you could ever buy in your 20s. That's what long-term investing is about. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about never having to panic later. You've got to think differently. You've got to step outside the crowd. Most people don't invest early. Most people don't plan long-term. Most people don't retire with dignity. That's why you can't live like most people. You have to be willing to look ahead and say, where do I want to be in 10, 20, 30 years? Then reverse engineer that vision. Start small if you have to. Invest automatically every month. Don't skip it. Don't treat it like an afterthought. Make it as regular as your rent or your groceries. That's how it grows. Not because you're lucky, but because you're disciplined. When you begin investing early, you give your money more time to grow. And growth doesn't just happen from what you contribute. It happens from what your investments earn over time. And then those earnings start earning. That's the magic. It's not magic in the mysterious sense. It's the result of consistency. It's what happens when you stop waiting for the right moment and realize that today is the right moment. Always has been. And here's something else. When you start early, you're not just building wealth. You're building character. You're training your brain to delay gratification. You're proving to yourself that your future matters more than a weekend splurge or the latest gadget. You start seeing money differently. You stop seeing it as something to spend and start seeing it as a tool to build freedom, security, and peace of mind. And let me tell you, peace of mind is priceless. Knowing that your future is handled changes the way you sleep at night. It changes the way you walk through life. You're no longer reacting, you're creating. This is where most people fall behind. They don't have a plan. They don't think long-term. They think about next week's bills and forget about the next 20 years. Don't let that be you. Get clear about your financial goals. Make them real. Put them on paper. Decide how much you want invested by the time you're 40, 50, 60, then work backward. How much do you need to invest every month to get there? What accounts will you use? What tools are available to help you stay consistent? Ask these questions now, not 10 years from now when you feel like it's too late. And yes, I know life gets in the way. I know there are months when it feels like you're barely keeping up. But if you only invest when it's convenient, you'll miss the power of consistency. There's never going to be a perfect time. You just have to decide it matters enough to start now. Think about your future self. Think about the version of you 10 or 20 years from now. Will they thank you for starting today? Or will they wonder why you waited? The world won't teach you this. The world wants you to spend. The world wants you distracted. But you don't have to follow the world. You can choose a better path. You can start early. You can think long-term. You can live your life in a way that doesn't just hope for better days. It builds them. Start investing today, even if it's just a small amount. Start now, while time is still your ally. Choose a simple plan. Be consistent. Set your sights on the future. Not a fantasy, a real future shaped by your choices now. That's how you master wealth. That's how you break the cycle. That's how you stop surviving and start building a life that feels good, not just today, but for decades to come. Number 2, build multiple income streams to secure financial freedom. Most people are stuck in a cycle they never planned to be in. They wake up, work hard for 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours a day, not because they love what they do, but because they have to. They live with this quiet pressure in the back of their mind, knowing that one missed paycheck could throw everything into chaos. They've got one source of income, a job, and if that job disappears, so does their ability to pay rent, feed their family, or keep the lights on. That's not freedom. That's survival. And you can't build wealth if you're stuck in survival mode. You need options. You need control. You need leverage. And that starts with building more than one stream of income. One paycheck is not a plan, it's a risk. You might think your job is secure, but industries change. Companies downsize, economies shift. And life doesn't ask for permission before it throws you off balance. If your whole financial life is built on one stream of income, you're always one decision away from a major setback. But when you have multiple income streams, you're not just protected, you're empowered. You don't panic when one stream dries up because you've got others flowing in. That's how people sleep at night. That's how they start choosing their life instead of being forced into it. You don't need to start with 5 businesses. You just need to start. Look at your skills. Look at your time. Look at what people need and what problems you can solve. That's where income streams come from, solving problems. You might build something online. You might freelance. You might start a service business on the side. Maybe you turn a hobby into something profitable. Or maybe you begin investing in dividend-paying assets or rental properties. It doesn't have to be flashy. It just has to be consistent. The people who build real wealth are rarely relying on one paycheck. They've got money coming in from different directions, and more importantly, those directions are designed to work even when they're not. Passive income isn't a myth. It's just not instant. You have to put in the effort up front. But when you do, you build systems that keep producing income even while you sleep, travel, or spend time with family. That's the kind of income that changes your life. Not just your lifestyle, but your time, your decisions, your peace of mind. You've got to move from trading time for money to building systems that multiply your time. A job pays you for the hours you work. But a business, an investment, a digital product, those things keep working without your constant presence. That's the shift. And you don't make that shift by accident. You make it on purpose. You decide that your future matters more than comfort. You choose to learn, experiment, build, fail, and try again. Because every new income stream is a step toward independence. Every dollar you make outside your paycheck is a dollar that didn't come from selling your time. Now, don't confuse busy work with real income. Just because something feels productive doesn't mean it pays. You've got to focus on results. What stream can actually make money? What can grow over time? What can be automated or scaled? You've only got so many hours. Use them wisely. Build with intention. Build with the future in mind. And once you've built one stream, don't stop. Use that extra income to fund the next. Stack them. Layer them. Design your life around abundance, not scarcity. There's something powerful that happens when you start seeing your income come from multiple places. You stop feeling like you're at the mercy of one employer. You start making decisions from a place of confidence. You're not just thinking about getting by, you're thinking about building something lasting. That's a mindset most people never reach because they're too exhausted from trying to keep up with bills. But when your income starts flowing from different directions, you rise above the noise. You gain clarity. You make smarter choices. It doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with a decision. Decide to never rely on one source again. Decide that your freedom is worth more than comfort. Decide that no one will care about your future more than you. Then act. Take a class. Start a side hustle. Buy a book. Learn a new skill. Connect with people who've done what you want to do. The internet has removed all excuses. The information is out there. The tools are accessible. What's missing for most people isn't knowledge, it's execution. And here's what you'll learn along the way. Every new income stream teaches you something. It stretches you. It humbles you. It sharpens you. The process of building multiple streams builds you in the process. You become more creative, more resourceful, more resilient. Because it's not just about money, it's about control. It's about building a life that can't be taken from you by one bad day at the office. It's about knowing that your future is in your hands, not someone else's. Eventually, those streams add up. One pays the rent. Another covers your car. Another funds your investments. Another becomes your safety net. And before you know it, you're not just making money, you're building freedom. You can walk away from things that don't serve you. You can say no to toxic environments. You can spend more time with the people who matter. You get to choose, not just survive. This is the foundation of financial freedom, not hitting some magic number in your bank account, not waiting for retirement to start living. Freedom comes when you don't depend on a single paycheck to live. Freedom comes when your income isn't tied to one job. Freedom comes when your money works for you in more than one place. That's not a fantasy, that's a strategy. And it's one you can start now, right where you are. Build something. Build it small, but build it now. Then build another. And another. Don't chase every shiny opportunity. Choose with purpose. Follow through. Give it time to grow. That's how you get out of the rat race. That's how you stop depending. That's how you start owning your future, one income stream at a time. Number 3, track every expense and create a monthly budget. Most people don't know where their money goes. That's the truth. They work hard, collect their paycheck, pay a few bills, buy a few things, and by the time the month ends, they're left wondering why their account is nearly empty. They'll tell you they don't spend much. They'll swear they're being careful. But the numbers don't lie. And the problem isn't just what they're spending, it's that they don't know what they're spending. If you don't track every dollar, you don't control your money. And if you don't control your money, it ends up controlling you. The uncomfortable reality is that many people are financially lost, not because they're lazy or irresponsible, but because they're flying blind. They've never been taught how to manage their income. They've never taken the time to sit down, look at the numbers, and be honest with themselves. Tracking expenses sounds simple, even boring, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can develop. Why? Because clarity creates control. And without control, building wealth becomes a guessing game you can't win. You need to know exactly how much money comes in and exactly how much goes out every single month. Not roughly, not a ballpark, precisely. Because vague numbers produce vague results. You can't improve what you don't measure, and you can't fix what you're not even aware of. Most people are bleeding money slowly through daily decisions they don't think matter. Small subscriptions, impulse purchases, eating out too often, habits they tell themselves are minor. But those little leaks over time become the reason they never get ahead. Start writing it down. Use a notebook. Use an app. Use a spreadsheet. It doesn't matter how you track. What matters is that you do it daily. Every time you spend money, log it. Not just the big stuff, everything. Coffee, tips, gas, groceries, digital purchases. When you start seeing the truth laid out in front of you, you begin to take back power. You stop lying to yourself. You start making intentional decisions. That's how budgeting begins, with awareness. Once you've tracked every expense, you'll notice patterns. You'll realize where your money is actually going. And that realization will either shock you or motivate you, maybe both. That's when you create a monthly budget, not as a punishment, but as a blueprint. A budget isn't about restriction. It's about direction. It tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. It's your plan, not your prison. And it's not one size fits all. Your budget is based on your values, your goals, your lifestyle. It's not about copying someone else's plan. It's about building your own with purpose. When you build your budget, don't just guess. Use your tracked expenses as a guide. Set limits for categories: rent, groceries, transportation, entertainment, savings. Every dollar must have a job. No dollar should just sit there waiting to be spent randomly. Give your money purpose. Assign it before the month begins. That way, when life hits, you're ready. You're not reacting, you're prepared. You're not surprised, you're strategic. The hardest part for most people isn't starting a budget. It's sticking to it. And the reason they don't stick to it is because they treat it like a rigid system instead of a flexible guide. Your budget will evolve. Some months, you'll have unexpected expenses. Some categories will shift. That's okay. The goal is not perfection. It's consistency. Check in every week. Adjust as needed. Stay honest with yourself. This is about building a relationship with your money, not ignoring it until it becomes a problem. Budgeting also creates peace. When you know your bills are covered, your goals are funded, and your spending is in check, you stop living with that constant stress in the back of your mind. You stop waking up anxious about money. You stop waiting for payday with dread. You become confident, calm. You know exactly where you stand. That clarity is worth more than a temporary purchase or a night out. That clarity gives you control over your future. Here's what most people don't realize. Wealth doesn't begin with making more money. It begins with managing what you already have. If you can't manage $1,000, you won't manage $10,000. More money only magnifies your habits. If you're disorganized with a small income, you'll be just as disorganized with a big one. except the consequences will be greater. That's why budgeting isn't for broke people. It's for anyone who wants to build a foundation strong enough to grow real wealth on top of it. Tracking your expenses also helps you align your life with your values. You might say family is your priority, but are you spending like it? You might say financial freedom matters, but do your daily purchases reflect that goal? The numbers don't lie. When you budget, you make values visible. You make goals practical. You stop just hoping and start acting. You turn intentions into habits, and that's how change begins. It doesn't take a finance degree. It doesn't take hours a day. It just takes a decision. A decision to stop living blind. A decision to face the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. A decision to take responsibility for every dollar, because those dollars, if managed well, can build your freedom, your legacy, your peace of mind. This is how people change their future. Not through luck, through small, daily, intentional actions that add up over time. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need an honest one. Sit down. Track everything for the next 30 days. No excuses. Then build a budget based on what's real, not what you wish was true. Follow it. Adjust it. Refine it. Make it a part of your life. Make it as normal as brushing your teeth or checking your messages. Make it a habit so strong that it becomes second nature. Because when you can control your spending, you can control your savings. When you can control your savings, you can control your investing. And when you can control your investing, you can control your future. It all begins here, with knowing exactly where your money is going. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's necessary. And once you get good at it, once you see the results, once you feel the difference, you'll never go back to guessing. You'll never go back to drifting. You'll be on a mission, and you'll know exactly how to fund it. Number 4, save at least 20% of your income. For most people, money leaves their account the moment it comes in. It doesn't matter how much they earn, $2,000 or $10,000, they find a way to spend it all. And by the end of the month, they're scraping together what's left, wondering why nothing seems to be changing. The problem isn't their income, it's their mindset. They treat savings as an afterthought, not a priority. They think they'll save what's left over, but nothing is ever left over. Because if you don't set a rule, life will always find a way to spend your money. Bills, temptations, habits, poor decisions, they all show up uninvited and take what you didn't protect. That's the truth many people avoid. Saving isn't something that happens naturally. It's something you do on purpose. And if you want to build wealth, if you want to gain real financial control, you must decide right now. 20% of your income is not optional. It's non-negotiable. It's not extra. It's essential. Because saving money isn't just about building a cushion. It's about changing your future. It's about making sure that one day you no longer have to trade your time for every dollar. People will tell you it's hard to save 20%. And they're right. At first, it is. It takes discipline. It takes sacrifices. It takes looking at your spending and saying, what do I value more, a moment of comfort or a future of freedom? But what's harder is reaching 40 or 50 and realizing you've been working for decades with nothing to show for it. That's what most people face. They work hard their entire lives and still retire broke, not because they didn't earn enough, but because they never saved enough. They never made it a rule. This isn't about cutting out every joy in life. It's about structure. You can enjoy your money and still build your future. But enjoyment without responsibility leads to regret. Saving 20% isn't punishment, it's protection. It's putting yourself first. It's saying, I matter, my future matters, my peace of mind matters. And the beautiful part, when you commit to that number, everything else starts to fall in place. You start becoming more intentional. You become a better planner. You start valuing your time and effort more because now your money has direction. The truth is, saving 20% doesn't require a six-figure salary. It requires priorities. It means cutting what doesn't serve you, It means questioning habits. It means knowing the difference between a need and a want. Most people don't lack money, they lack clarity. They say they can't save, but they spend on convenience, upgrades, trends, and distractions. Every dollar you spend is a decision. Every dollar you save is a commitment. And the people who save consistently are the ones who win long term. Not because they got lucky, because they followed a simple rule over and over again. Automate it if you have to. Take the 20% out before you touch anything else. Don't wait to see what's left. That's how most people live, and that's why they stay stuck. You need to flip the script. Pay yourself first. Treat your savings like a bill, not an optional one, a required one. You wouldn't miss your rent or your mortgage. Don't miss your future either. Because here's the reality. The money you save is the money that gives you power. The power to say no. The power to walk away. The power to invest. The power to rest. Start now. Not next month. Not when things feel easier. The best time to save is when it's uncomfortable, because that's when it builds your discipline. That's when it stretches you. That's when it becomes real. You're not waiting for perfect conditions. You're creating your own. And the earlier you start, the easier it becomes. That 20% compounds over time. Not just in a bank account, but in confidence, in habits, in strength. Think about what that looks like over the years. Let's say you earn $3,000 a month. 20% is $600. Do that for a year, and you've saved $7,200. In 5 years, you've got $36,000, and that's without investment returns. Add growth to that, and you're building a foundation most people never touch. Now imagine you earn more. Imagine you stick with it. Imagine you keep your lifestyle below your means while your income grows. That's how wealth is built. Slowly, strategically, intentionally. But it only works if you commit, not once. Every month. You don't skip it when things get tight. You don't tell yourself just this time. You hold the line. Because if you give in every time life gets noisy, you'll never make progress. There will always be something else. But if you stand firm, if you make that 20% untouchable, you'll separate yourself from the crowd. You'll become someone who plans, not someone who reacts. And don't fall into the trap of thinking small amounts don't matter. Every dollar matters. Every dollar saved is a vote for your future. It's not about big leaps. It's about consistent steps. Even if you have to build up to 20%, do it. Start at 10, go to 15, reach 20. But set that as the target, and don't stop until it's the standard. Make it who you are. Make it normal. Saving is a habit, and habits are formed through repetition. Track your progress. Celebrate small wins. Look back every few months and realize how far you've come. Because this isn't just about money, it's about ownership. When you save, you're taking ownership of your life. You're saying, I won't leave my future up to chance. I won't hope someone else saves me. I'm responsible. That mindset, that's rare, and it's powerful. Wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. Anyone can earn, few can manage. But the ones who do, the ones who save that 20% month after month, are the ones who eventually have choices. They get to invest. They get to build. They get to say yes to things that matter and no to things that don't. They get to live life on their terms. Don't wait until it's urgent. Don't wait until you're in trouble. Save now. Save while you can. Save because your future depends on it. That 20% isn't just money. It's freedom. It's dignity. It's leverage. Start today. Hold the line. And don't break the rule, no matter what. Number 5. Eliminate bad debt and avoid unnecessary borrowing. There's a reason so many people feel like they're suffocating, and it isn't just the bills or the cost of living. It's the weight of debt, the kind of debt that keeps them up at night. The kind of debt that doesn't just take money, it steals peace, it robs confidence, it slows down every step toward progress. You see it everywhere. Credit cards maxed out, personal loans stacking up, borrowed money being used to live a life people can't actually afford. They borrow today because they're hoping tomorrow will be better. But tomorrow doesn't get better if you keep dragging yesterday's mistakes behind you. The reality is, bad debt isn't just a financial issue, it's emotional. It creates stress that doesn't leave when you walk out of work. It affects how you show up for your family. It limits your decisions. And it keeps you locked into a cycle where no matter how hard you work, you're not building. You're just catching up. Bad debt is any debt that doesn't pay you back. It's money borrowed for things that lose value the moment you swipe your card. Clothes, gadgets, vacations. Stuff that feels good for a moment and costs you for years. And if you don't eliminate it, it becomes normal. And that's the danger. Once debt feels normal, you stop fighting it. You need to change the way you see debt. Debt isn't just a monthly payment, it's a future promise you already spent. It's a weight that delays your freedom. The longer it stays, the harder it becomes to invest, to save, to grow. That's why eliminating bad debt should be urgent. Not someday. Not when you feel ready. Now. And the first step is facing it head on. Make a list of every debt you owe. No skipping. No hiding. Credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, all of it. Look at the interest rates. Look at the balances. See the truth clearly, even if it's uncomfortable. You can't conquer what you won't confront. Once you've laid it all out, you make a plan. Not a wish. A real intentional strategy. Prioritize the debt with the highest interest first. That's the one stealing the most from you. Pay the minimum on the rest and throw every extra dollar at the worst one. Attack it. Sell things if you have to. Cut spending. Pick up extra hours. Delay upgrades. Live below your means. Every sacrifice today shortens your struggle tomorrow. And once one debt is gone, take that payment and apply it to the next one. Keep the momentum going. Every time you eliminate a debt, you take back a piece of your freedom. But here's the key. While you're paying off debt, you have to stop borrowing. You can't fill a leaking bucket and expect it to hold water. Cut up the cards if you need to. Freeze them. Cancel unnecessary credit lines. Build new habits that don't rely on borrowing. Borrowing for survival is one thing, but borrowing for lifestyle is a trap. And marketing today is designed to pull you into that trap. Easy payments. 0% for a few months. Buy now, worry later. But later always comes. And it comes with interest. With stress, with regret. You have to get loud in your mind. You have to say, no more. I don't borrow for things that don't grow my future. Debt has a way of making you feel behind, even when you're working hard. That's why you need to keep your focus on progress, not perfection. Some people take years to get debt-free. That's okay. It's not about speed. It's about consistency. It's about making this your mission. Every payment is a win. Every dollar you don't borrow is a victory. And over time, those small wins add up. You'll look back and realize you're not just out of debt. You're different. You think differently. You spend differently. You've built strength that can't be bought. Let me be clear, not all debt is created equal. A mortgage on a home that appreciates? That's different. A student loan tied to a high-earning skill? That can have a purpose. But high-interest consumer debt, that's toxic. And borrowing money for things that drop in value is the fastest way to stay broke. You have to learn to delay gratification. That's not punishment. That's maturity. That's ownership. That's choosing to build something that lasts instead of chasing every fleeting desire. You've got to protect your future from poor borrowing habits. And that means creating buffers, an emergency fund, a savings account for planned expenses, a lifestyle that doesn't stretch every dollar. Because when you have margin, you don't have to rely on debt. Most people don't have a spending problem. They have a margin problem. They spend every dollar because they think they need every dollar. But when you live with space, when you live on less than you earn, you build security. You create options. You never have to borrow out of panic. And once you've eliminated the bad debt, stay free. Don't go back. Don't justify new loans for things you don't need. Keep your freedom guarded. There's nothing glamorous about being in debt, no matter how good the purchase feels in the moment. What's truly powerful is being able to walk into a store, see something you want, and choose not to buy it. Not because you can't afford it, but because you've built the discipline to say no. That's real wealth. That's real control. Your future depends on this. You can't build wealth while dragging chains behind you. You can't invest deeply when interest payments are draining your income. You can't walk into opportunities if every step forward is delayed by past decisions. This is about clearing the path. It's about removing the things that keep you stuck. Because the moment you become debt-free, you start playing offense. You start saving more. You start investing more. You start thinking clearly, planning wisely, and living boldly. Get serious about it. Eliminate the bad debt. All of it. Don't keep any of it around as a backup or just in case. Cut it out like it's cancer to your finances, because it is. And once it's gone, you don't just gain money, you gain peace, clarity, confidence, and control. That's how you move from survival to stability, from panic to power, from paycheck to progress. And that change begins the moment you decide, I will not live under debt anymore. Number 6, learn one new financial concept every single week. Most people are drowning in financial stress, not because they lack the desire to change, but because they lack the knowledge to make the right decisions. They wake up every day hoping things will get better, but they keep running the same financial patterns over and over. And it's not because they're lazy or irresponsible. It's because no one ever taught them how money truly works. Schools skipped it. Parents didn't know it themselves. Society flooded them with marketing instead of education. And so, people enter adulthood with ambition but no strategy, enthusiasm but no financial literacy. They know they should save, but they don't know how much. They hear about investing, but they don't know where to begin. They hear terms like index fund, inflation, net worth, and asset allocation, and feel like outsiders in their own economic lives. That gap between what they need to know and what they actually know is where money problems grow. But here's the truth most people overlook. You don't need to learn everything overnight. You don't need a finance degree or a Wall Street mentor. You just need to make learning a habit. One concept, 1 week, every week. That's it. Because knowledge compounds, just like interest does. The more you learn, the faster it all starts to click. At first, it might feel like a foreign language. The first few concepts might seem slow, frustrating, even intimidating. But if you commit to learning one new financial idea every week, in a year, you'll have mastered over 50 key pieces of financial intelligence that the average person never touches. You might start with the basics. What is net worth and how is it calculated? It's not just your income. It's what you own minus what you owe. Most people don't even know their number. And once they learn, they realize why they feel stuck. Because their liabilities are swallowing their assets. Then you move on to budgeting methods, maybe the 50-30-20 rule or zero-based budgeting. Suddenly, you're not just tracking expenses, you're controlling them. You're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Then maybe you dive into how inflation erodes purchasing power and how your savings lose value if they sit idle. That pushes you into understanding the stock market, not as a casino, but as a tool. You start learning the difference between stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, and how diversification can protect you from volatility. You realize investing isn't about guessing, it's about strategy and patience. Every week something unlocks. 1 week, you learn the difference between simple interest and compound interest, and you realize how banks make money off you and how you can reverse that by investing. Another week, you dig into retirement accounts, IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401ks, and discover that tax-advantaged growth is a game changer. Then you explore the psychological side. How cognitive biases like loss aversion or herd mentality impact investment decisions. The more you learn, the less emotional you become with money. You begin seeing past the noise, the headlines, the hype, the panic. You start making decisions based on understanding, not on fear. You begin learning about taxes, and suddenly you're not just filing your return, you're planning ahead. You explore deductions, credits, and legal ways to minimize what you owe. You realize the tax code isn't just rules, it's a roadmap that favors the informed. You study how businesses are taxed versus individuals. You understand why the wealthy often pay less in taxes legally, and you start to adopt strategies to keep more of what you earn. One week you dive into the concept of opportunity cost. Now, you're weighing every financial decision against what you could be doing with that same money elsewhere. That trip? That car? That upgrade? Now you see the real cost, not just in dollars, but in delayed goals and missed growth. And it's not just personal finance. You begin understanding global economic forces, how interest rates set by central banks affect borrowing costs, or how geopolitical events can move markets. You're not just reacting anymore, you're anticipating. You start studying business models, understanding what makes a company profitable, how to read a balance sheet, and how investors evaluate value versus hype. You begin seeing opportunities everywhere. Not because you're guessing, but because you're informed. And something unexpected happens. You stop feeling overwhelmed by money. Instead of avoidance, you feel curiosity. You look forward to learning because every new concept puts more control in your hands. It gives you language. It gives you leverage. You're no longer at the mercy of bad advice, slick marketing, or fear-based decisions. You can sit in a room where money is being discussed and not just understand, but contribute. You gain confidence not from having more money, but from knowing more about how money works. That's what most people never get. They think money problems are solved by earning more. But knowledge, applied knowledge, is what turns income into wealth. If you earn $100,000 a year but don't understand how to manage, invest, protect, or multiply that income, you'll feel just as broke as someone earning $40,000. But if you learn, truly learn, how to play the game, even modest earnings can compound into real financial independence. Make this your mission, one new concept, every single week. Put it on your calendar. Pick a topic every Sunday. Spend a few hours reading, watching, reflecting. Write it down. Teach it to someone else. Apply it to your life that same week. Make it practical, not just theoretical, because repetition without application is wasted time. You don't need to become a finance professor. You just need to become someone who is constantly evolving, expanding, upgrading their financial intelligence. And it's not just for you. When you learn, you teach. You change your household. You change your community. You raise kids who grow up knowing the value of money, the importance of investing, the dangers of debt, and the freedom of financial clarity. You create a ripple effect, one concept at a time, one week at a time. This is how you build real wealth, not just in your bank account, but in your mind. This is how you break the cycle. This is how you make sure the next generation starts ahead, not behind. It all begins the moment you decide, I will never go another week without learning something new about money. Number 7. Invest in assets, not liabilities that lose value. It's a harsh reality that many people live paycheck to paycheck, despite working hard every day. They accumulate stuff. Cars, gadgets, fancy homes, designer clothes, believing these things signify success. But beneath the surface, these so-called assets quietly drain their bank accounts month after month. The bills pile up, credit card statements show rising balances, and the dream of financial freedom drifts further away. Most don't realize they've been trapped in a cycle of buying liabilities disguised as assets. The critical difference between the two isn't glamorous or complicated. It's simple. Assets put money into your pocket, liabilities take money out. When you invest in liabilities, you're signing up for a slow bleed of your resources. The flashy car that depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot, the expensive tech gadgets that lose value with every new model, even the oversized home with high upkeep and property taxes, all these drain your finances rather than build them. True financial growth happens when you consciously shift your mindset to investing in assets that generate income or appreciate over time. Assets like rental properties that provide monthly cash flow, dividend-paying stocks that pay you while the company grows, or even a small business that, once established, creates a steady profit stream. These are the real building blocks of wealth because they create value beyond their purchase price. When you invest in an asset, you're essentially planting a seed that grows, multiplies, and eventually can provide financial security without you having to work more hours. The problem is that many confuse possessions with assets. Owning a home is often touted as an asset, but if it drains you with high mortgage payments, maintenance costs, and property taxes, it's functioning as a liability until you have enough equity or rental income to cover those expenses. Understanding this distinction is crucial to break free from financial stagnation. People who accumulate liabilities often do so because of societal pressures and marketing tactics that glorify consumption. We live in a culture that equates spending with status. Advertisements tell us buying the latest car or luxury item will elevate our lifestyle and happiness. The truth is that these purchases rarely improve financial health. They create stress and uncertainty. Meanwhile, true asset acquisition may feel slow and less glamorous. Saving to invest in a rental property or building a diversified portfolio of stocks doesn't offer immediate gratification, but it builds lasting financial strength. This long-term vision is what separates those who achieve independence from those who remain stuck. Shifting your mindset to value assets over liabilities requires intentional effort and discipline. One of the biggest challenges is resisting the temptation to finance liabilities with debt. Credit cards, car loans, or personal loans for consumer goods may provide instant access to luxury, but they come with interest and fees that amplify financial pressure. Instead, focus on building a solid foundation where your income can fund asset purchases without relying on borrowing. Start small, perhaps by investing in a low-cost index fund or saving for a modest rental property. The key is consistency and patience. Over time, these investments will appreciate and provide passive income streams that can cover liabilities or even replace earned income entirely. Learning to recognize liabilities disguised as assets also means critically evaluating your spending habits. Ask yourself tough questions. Does this purchase generate income? Does it hold or increase its value over time? Or is it simply a monthly expense disguised as an investment? For example, upgrading to a more expensive car may seem like a reward for hard work, but if it increases your monthly payments and insurance, it's a liability. On the other hand, investing the equivalent money into retirement accounts or business ventures builds financial muscle. When your asset base grows, you gain freedom to make choices without the stress of living paycheck to paycheck. It's important to note that not all assets are created equal. Some investments carry higher risks or require more active management. Real estate can generate strong cash flow, but demands time and effort to manage tenants and maintenance. Stocks can provide growth and dividends, but fluctuate with market cycles. Educating yourself about different asset types and balancing your portfolio to suit your risk tolerance and goals is essential. Diversification helps protect you from market downturns and unexpected financial shocks. The goal is to create a resilient financial ecosystem where your assets support each other, reducing overall risk. Many people shy away from investing in assets because of fear or lack of knowledge. The jargon, complex strategies, and fear of losing money can be overwhelming. But the truth is, with education and guidance, anyone can start building a portfolio that puts money to work. Start by reading books, following trusted financial experts, or attending workshops. Break down complex concepts into manageable steps. Remember, the journey to wealth is not a sprint but a marathon. Every small investment today lays the groundwork for larger opportunities tomorrow. The more you learn and take action, the more confident and empowered you become. Finally, mindset is the foundation for investing wisely in assets rather than liabilities. Recognize that wealth is not about how much you spend or what you own superficially, but how well you manage your money to create lasting value. Patience, discipline, and a commitment to long-term goals are essential. Instead of chasing fleeting pleasures, focus on acquiring assets that build and protect your financial future. When you view money as a tool to acquire income-generating assets rather than something to be consumed, you begin to break free from financial traps and step into a life of greater control and abundance. By prioritizing assets over liabilities, you shift your financial trajectory. This shift is the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and achieving lasting financial freedom. It is the difference between financial stress and financial security. Start small, stay consistent, and build a legacy that lasts beyond your lifetime. The path isn't easy, but it's real. It's achievable, and it starts with a single decision: to invest in what truly builds wealth, not what slowly drains it. Number 8. Use compound interest to grow your wealth consistently. Imagine watching your money grow exponentially, not just steadily, but accelerating faster and faster with time, without you needing to do anything extra after the initial investment. This is the powerful magic of compound interest, yet most people never harness it fully because they misunderstand how it works or underestimate its long-term impact. The reality is stark. Many individuals spend years, even decades, working tirelessly for every dollar, only to fall short of their financial goals because they ignored the simplest but most potent force in wealth building. They think saving a little bit here and there is enough, or that investing is complicated, risky, or for someone else. This mindset traps them in a slow grind, where their money never really grows beyond what they earn directly. Compound interest isn't just a concept, it's the engine that fuels the vast majority of wealth accumulation in the world. At its core, compound interest is interest earned on both the original principal and the accumulated interest from previous periods. This means the money you earn doesn't just sit idle, it gets reinvested, and then that reinvested amount earns even more. Over time, this snowball effect can turn modest investments into sizable fortunes, especially when given the advantage of time. The earlier you start, the more powerful this compounding effect becomes, because the growth isn't linear, it's exponential. The mistake many make is waiting too long to invest, believing they need a large sum to begin or that they must time the market perfectly. In truth, starting small and early outpaces larger lump sums invested later due to the time value of money and compounding. However, the power of compound interest can only be fully realized if your money stays invested and grows consistently over time. Interruptions, withdrawals, or poor investment choices can diminish its impact significantly. This is why patience and discipline are crucial. You must resist the temptation to cash out early during market downturns or for short-term desires. Instead, commit to a long-term plan that allows your investments to ride out fluctuations and maximize growth. Understanding this principle changes how you think about money. It's no longer just something to be spent immediately, but a tool to create more money. Every dollar you put into an investment is like planting a seed that, if nurtured and left undisturbed, grows into a tree bearing fruit year after year. The consistency in contributions is another vital factor. Even small, regular investments leverage compound interest far better than one-time deposits. By automating your investments, such as setting up monthly transfers into retirement accounts or index funds, you create a habit that steadily builds wealth without requiring constant attention or effort. This approach also helps you take advantage of dollar-cost averaging, buying more shares when prices are low and fewer when prices are high, smoothing out market volatility and reducing risk over time. When combined with the compounding effect, this disciplined strategy can dramatically accelerate wealth growth. It's also important to recognize the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Simple interest pays you only on the original amount you invested, which can feel disappointing over the long haul. Compound interest, on the other hand, rewards you for your patience and reinvestment by paying you on the total accumulated amount, which can result in far greater returns. For example, if you invest $1,000 at 7% annual compound interest, in 30 years it grows to nearly $7,600 without any additional deposits. But with simple interest, it would only grow to $100. This stark difference underscores why understanding and utilizing compounding is essential for financial success. Yet many avoid investing altogether because they fear risk or believe they don't have enough money to start. The truth is that compound interest works regardless of the initial amount, as long as you start and stay consistent. Even a small monthly contribution of $50 invested wisely and compounded over decades can turn into a substantial nest egg. The key is to begin immediately, avoid distractions, and stay committed despite market ups and downs. Time is your greatest ally, and the earlier you begin, the less you need to worry about making large contributions later. Moreover, compound interest isn't just limited to traditional investments like stocks or bonds. It also applies to other financial vehicles such as retirement accounts, real estate equity, or even reinvested business profits. Understanding where and how to leverage compounding is part of becoming a savvy investor. For instance, tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks or IRAs offer compound growth with the added benefit of tax deferral or exemption, amplifying your wealth-building power. Utilizing these tools maximizes compound growth potential and keeps more of your money working for you. Despite its power, compound interest is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires discipline, patience, and a long-term perspective. Those who seek instant gratification often fall prey to scams promising rapid returns or try to time the market, which usually results in losses. The most successful investors are those who understand the slow and steady nature of compounding and use it as the foundation of their wealth strategy. They don't panic during market downturns or chase trends. They focus on consistent contributions and let their investments grow quietly over time. This mindset shift is often the most challenging but ultimately the most rewarding part of mastering compounding. Finally, compound interest also teaches a powerful lesson beyond money: the importance of small, consistent actions repeated over time. Just as money compounds, so do habits, knowledge, and skills. By cultivating daily habits that support your financial goals, you create momentum that propels you forward. Likewise, learning and applying new financial knowledge compound your ability to make smarter decisions, avoid costly mistakes, and seize opportunities. Compound interest isn't just a financial tool, it's a mindset for sustainable growth and lifelong success. Harnessing the power of compound interest transforms your financial journey from a constant struggle to a strategic, hopeful, and ultimately rewarding path. It requires commitment and foresight, but the payoff is profound: a future where your money works for you, freeing you from the endless cycle of trading time for dollars. This is the reality of financial independence, a reality that starts with understanding, embracing, and using compound interest consistently and wisely. The longer you wait, the more you lose. So start today, invest steadily, and watch your wealth grow beyond what you ever thought possible. Number 9. Automate savings and investments for consistent growth. Most people know they should save and invest regularly. Yet the harsh reality is that many fail to do so consistently. The reasons vary, from distractions and forgetfulness to emotional spending or even procrastination fueled by financial overwhelm. The truth is, relying solely on willpower to keep your money growing is a losing battle for most. Life happens, unexpected bills, shifting priorities, and the endless temptation to spend today can derail the best intentions. This lack of consistency is the silent enemy of financial progress. It's not a question of how much you save, but whether you save regularly and without fail. This is where automation becomes a game changer. Automation removes the human element of error and inconsistency by making your financial growth a set-it-and-forget-it process. By automating your savings and investments, you create a reliable, frictionless system that works for you every single month, regardless of mood, market conditions, or distractions. Imagine waking up each day knowing a portion of your income is already working hard, building your future wealth without you having to think twice. This approach transforms saving and investing from an erratic chore into an effortless habit that compounds over time. Setting up automatic transfers to your savings account and investment vehicles like retirement funds, index funds, or brokerage accounts ensures your money moves directly from your paycheck into these accounts the moment you receive it. This pay-yourself-first strategy guarantees you prioritize your financial future before any discretionary spending can occur. It's a psychological advantage because it prevents you from being tempted to spend what you haven't yet seen in your available balance. Instead of scrambling to save what's left at the end of the month, automation locks in your savings and investments up front, making your financial discipline foolproof. The beauty of automated investing is that it also smooths out market volatility through dollar-cost averaging. When you invest the same fixed amount regularly, you buy more shares when prices are low and fewer when prices are high, reducing the average cost per share over time. This reduces risk, especially for those who worry about timing the market or making emotional investment decisions. Automation forces discipline, eliminates the guesswork, and helps you remain invested through the inevitable market ups and downs. Staying invested consistently is one of the most important factors for long-term growth, and automation helps you do just that. Many financial institutions and apps now offer easy ways to automate contributions, making it accessible even for beginners. From linking your payroll directly to your savings and investment accounts to setting recurring transfers on your banking app, the technology is designed to remove barriers and make consistency effortless. You don't need to be a financial expert to set this up, just a clear plan and the discipline to start. Over time, these small automated deposits can accumulate into significant wealth, turning passive contributions into active financial growth. Another important element of automation is minimizing human errors like missed payments or delayed transfers, which can hurt your credit score or cause missed opportunities for earning returns. Automatic bill payments for loans, utilities, and credit cards also prevent late fees and keep your financial life organized. This reduces stress and frees up mental bandwidth to focus on bigger picture financial decisions. It's not just about growing your money, but protecting your financial health with simple, automated routines. Yet, automation is not about blindly setting up transfers and forgetting everything else. It requires monitoring and periodic adjustment as your income, expenses, and financial goals evolve. Regularly reviewing your automated contributions ensures you're saving enough to meet your goals and taking advantage of raises or windfalls to boost your investment amounts. Automating the process removes friction but not responsibility. Successful investors revisit their plans to optimize and refine their strategies. One of the most overlooked advantages of automation is the power of habit formation. When money moves automatically, you build a routine around financial responsibility without having to exert constant effort or motivation. This gradual, consistent behavior shapes your financial identity over time, making saving and investing a natural part of who you are. Over months and years, this habit compounds as much as your investments do, creating a foundation for lasting financial stability and growth. It's also worth noting that automation doesn't mean inflexibility. If a month comes with unexpected expenses, most systems allow you to pause or adjust transfers temporarily. This flexibility helps maintain balance without derailing your long-term plan. You maintain control, but avoid the paralysis that often accompanies manual decision-making under pressure. Automation becomes your safety net, keeping you on track while accommodating life's unpredictability. For those who struggle with inconsistent income or self-control, automation can be a lifesaver. Freelancers, entrepreneurs, and anyone with irregular paychecks can benefit from setting minimum monthly savings targets that trigger automatically when funds arrive. This ensures financial progress even in the face of income volatility. In essence, automation adapts to your lifestyle rather than forcing you into rigid routines that are hard to maintain. The psychological impact of watching your automated savings grow over time should not be underestimated. Seeing your net worth increase regularly provides motivation and confidence, reinforcing your commitment to long-term financial goals. Automation removes the friction of action and replaces it with the satisfaction of steady, reliable progress. This positive feedback loop helps you overcome common hurdles like procrastination, fear, and financial uncertainty. Furthermore, automating your investments gives you the chance to focus on improving other areas of your financial life, such as increasing income, learning new skills, or refining your financial literacy, while your money quietly builds momentum in the background. This multi-pronged approach, combining automation with ongoing education and skill development, maximizes your potential to achieve financial independence. In summary, automating your savings and investments is one of the simplest yet most effective strategies to secure consistent financial growth. It transcends common obstacles like procrastination, emotional spending, and market timing fears, making your money work for you automatically and steadily. This hands-off approach to wealth building unlocks the full potential of compound interest, instills powerful habits, and safeguards your financial future. The critical step is to start today, set up your automatic transfers, trust the process, and let time and consistency do the heavy lifting. When you automate your money, you reclaim control over your financial destiny, turning dreams of security and freedom into an achievable reality through deliberate, effortless action. Number 10. Study successful investors and mimic their strategies. Most people dream about financial success, yet very few reach it because they try to reinvent the wheel or rely on guesswork instead of learning from those who have already paved the way. The reality is harsh. Financial freedom rarely comes from random luck or spontaneous decisions. It is built through understanding proven principles and strategies that have helped countless investors grow and protect their wealth over decades. Unfortunately, many get overwhelmed by the complexity of investing or drown in misinformation, which causes paralysis or costly mistakes. To break through this barrier, one of the smartest and most efficient ways to accelerate your financial progress is by studying successful investors and consciously mimicking their strategies. This doesn't mean blindly copying every move, but rather understanding the mindset, disciplines, and methods that have stood the test of time and tailoring them to your own situation. The first and most critical lesson from top investors is the importance of education and continuous learning. Great investors read extensively, analyze markets and companies carefully, and never stop improving their knowledge base. They don't chase trends or fall for get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, they commit to understanding fundamental principles such as valuation, risk management, market cycles, and economic indicators. This deep knowledge allows them to make informed decisions, identify undervalued opportunities, and avoid emotional pitfalls. For an everyday investor, emulating this intellectual curiosity means dedicating time to read books, listen to podcasts, follow reputable financial news, and engage with expert analyses regularly. It's a long-term commitment that builds wisdom over years, forming a solid foundation for smarter investment choices. Successful investors also embrace patience and discipline as core values. They understand that markets are volatile and that short-term noise should never derail a well-thought-out plan. Instead of reacting emotionally to every market dip or spike, they maintain composure, focus on their long-term objectives, and stick to their strategies. This ability to remain calm and consistent in the face of uncertainty is a critical differentiator. Mimicking this approach means you must develop emotional resilience and create a financial plan that accounts for inevitable ups and downs. Avoid impulsive buying or selling driven by fear or greed, and instead cultivate a steady, measured approach to growing your portfolio over time. Another key insight is diversification. Top investors never put all their eggs in one basket. They allocate assets across different industries, geographic regions, and asset classes to reduce risk while seeking optimal returns. By spreading investments, they protect themselves from devastating losses if one sector or company falters. Emulating this strategy requires you to think beyond just a few familiar stocks or investment types. Consider balancing your portfolio with a mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, and even alternative assets as appropriate. Diversification isn't about chasing every shiny opportunity, but about thoughtful allocation to minimize risk and create more stable growth. A hallmark of many successful investors is their ability to learn from failure. They don't view losses as the end, but as critical lessons. When a trade goes wrong or a company underperforms, they analyze what happened, adjust their strategy, and move forward wiser. This growth mindset is essential because investing inevitably involves mistakes and setbacks. To mimic this, embrace a mindset where failures are not feared but welcomed as opportunities to refine your approach. Keep detailed records of your investments, successes, and failures, and use them as a learning tool to avoid repeating errors. Successful investors also prioritize risk management. They know the difference between calculated risks and reckless gambles. Their strategies include setting clear limits on how much they are willing to lose on any single investment and employing tactics such as stop-loss orders or hedging to protect capital. This prudence preserves their ability to stay in the game for the long haul, which is vital for compounding returns. When adopting their strategies, you must develop a clear risk tolerance, understand the risk profile of each investment, and never overextend yourself financially. Protecting your downside is just as important as chasing gains. One cannot overlook the importance of tax efficiency, a practice many top investors utilize to maximize net returns. They structure their portfolios and transactions to minimize tax liabilities through strategies like tax loss harvesting, using tax-advantaged accounts, or timing the sale of assets. While taxes are inevitable, clever planning can significantly enhance your overall wealth growth. To mimic this aspect, learn about the tax implications of your investments and seek advice or tools that help you legally reduce taxes. This adds another layer of sophistication to your investment approach, improving your after-tax returns. Additionally, many successful investors leverage the power of networks and mentorship. They surround themselves with knowledgeable advisors, financial professionals, and like-minded peers who challenge their thinking and provide new perspectives. Investing can be complex and emotionally taxing, so having trusted experts and a support system helps them stay focused and make better decisions. To adopt this strategy, actively seek mentors, join investment groups, or participate in financial communities. Learning from others' experiences and sharing your own can accelerate your growth and prevent isolation in your financial journey. Lastly, successful investors often practice simplicity in their investment approach. They avoid overly complicated products or strategies that they don't fully understand. Warren Buffett famously advises to invest only in businesses you comprehend well. This principle reduces confusion and increases confidence in decision-making. Mimicking this means focusing on clear, straightforward investments that align with your knowledge and risk tolerance rather than chasing exotic or complex financial instruments that could lead to costly mistakes. In conclusion, studying and mimicking successful investors is one of the smartest paths to financial success. It offers a shortcut through trial and error by adopting proven principles such as continuous education, patience, diversification, risk management, tax efficiency, networking, and simplicity. This approach transforms investing from a guessing game into a disciplined, strategic pursuit. Instead of wandering aimlessly, you follow the footprints of those who have reached the destination you desire. It requires dedication and a willingness to learn from both triumphs and failures, but the payoff is immense. A wealth-building strategy that stands the test of time, helping you grow and protect your assets wisely, steadily, and confidently over the years. Number 11. Avoid emotional decisions during market highs and lows. The financial world is riddled with stories of investors who lost fortunes not because they lacked knowledge, but because they let their emotions drive their decisions. It's a brutal reality that even the most experienced investors fall prey to emotional impulses, especially when the market is wildly swinging. Fear and greed are powerful emotions that can cloud judgment and lead to rash actions, selling during a downturn in panic, or buying excessively when prices are soaring out of excitement. This cycle of emotional decision-making often causes people to buy high and sell low, which is exactly the opposite of what wealth building requires. Recognizing this truth is the first step. Most investors fail not from lack of opportunity, but from an inability to keep their emotions in check when the market fluctuates dramatically. The key to overcoming emotional impulses is developing a mindset grounded in logic and patience. Markets will always experience highs and lows, sometimes extreme and unpredictable. The natural reaction to fear during a downturn is to protect yourself by exiting investments. But history shows that markets generally recover and grow over the long term. Selling in a panic guarantees locking in losses, whereas staying invested allows you to benefit from the eventual rebound. Similarly, during market booms, the excitement can push investors to chase overvalued assets, driven by the fear of missing out, FOMO. This often leads to buying at the peak, just before a correction happens. To avoid this, you must cultivate discipline and understand that not every rally is a signal to jump in aggressively. One effective strategy to maintain emotional balance is having a clear, written financial plan. This plan should outline your investment goals, risk tolerance, asset allocation, and exit strategies before emotions even come into play. By establishing these parameters in advance, you create a roadmap that guides your actions during market volatility. When fear or greed try to cloud your judgment, referring back to this plan can help you stay grounded and make decisions based on facts rather than feelings. A well-constructed plan also includes diversification, which spreads risk and reduces the anxiety associated with sharp losses in any single investment. Another powerful tool to avoid emotional reactions is automation. By setting up automatic contributions to your investment accounts and automatic rebalancing of your portfolio, you remove the temptation to make impulsive trades. Automation forces consistency and helps you dollar-cost average, which means buying more shares when prices are low and fewer when prices are high. This systematic approach smooths out the impact of market fluctuations and reduces stress. It also eliminates the constant need to time the market perfectly, a task that even the most seasoned investors struggle to master. It is equally important to develop emotional awareness and recognize the signs when fear or greed start influencing your thoughts. Anxiety about falling prices or excitement over rapid gains can create cognitive biases such as confirmation bias, where you only pay attention to information that supports your emotional stance. This tunnel vision can result in poor investment choices. Training yourself to pause, take a step back, and evaluate your decisions objectively is vital. Mindfulness techniques, journaling your investment decisions, or discussing your moves with a trusted advisor can help bring clarity and prevent knee-jerk reactions. Learning from past market cycles is another essential part of mastering emotional control. Markets have gone through countless booms and busts, and studying these patterns reveals that volatility is normal, not exceptional. Accepting this reality helps temper expectations and prepares you mentally to ride through tough periods without panic. Remember, successful investing is not about avoiding losses altogether, but about managing them and staying the course when others abandon ship. Resilience in the face of adversity is what separates consistent wealth builders from those who burn out early. Moreover, surrounding yourself with a community or mentors who prioritize rational investing can reinforce disciplined behavior. Emotional contagion is real. When you hear stories of panic selling or euphoric buying from others, it's easy to get swept up in the crowd. Conversely, having a network that encourages steady, evidence-based decisions can keep you accountable and provide support when the market shakes confidence. This collective wisdom often reminds you that staying calm and focused pays off more than reacting impulsively. In addition to psychological tools, consider professional guidance to manage emotions tied to investing. Financial advisors or coaches can provide an objective perspective and remind you of your goals when emotions run high. They can also help adjust your portfolio to align better with your risk tolerance, reducing the stress that triggers emotional responses. While no advisor can eliminate market risks, having a trusted expert can prevent you from making costly mistakes driven by fear or excitement. Ultimately, mastering your emotions during market highs and lows requires deliberate effort and ongoing practice. It's about building mental toughness and creating structures that support rational decision-making. Remember, the market will test your patience repeatedly, but those who resist the urge to react impulsively stand the best chance to build lasting wealth. This discipline transforms investing from a roller coaster of anxiety and missed opportunities into a steady journey toward financial freedom. By consistently applying these principles, you not only protect your capital, but also position yourself to take advantage of market downturns by buying quality assets at discounted prices. Emotional control turns volatility into opportunity rather than a source of stress and loss. The path to financial success is paved with patience, planning, and the ability to detach from momentary market hysteria. Avoiding emotional decisions is arguably one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked strategies for anyone serious about growing wealth sustainably and confidently over time. Number 12. Review and adjust your financial plan every quarter. Most people underestimate how dynamic life and finances truly are. You might start a year with a clear financial goal, a detailed budget, and a carefully chosen investment strategy, only to find 6 months later that circumstances have changed dramatically. Whether it's a sudden job change, an unexpected medical expense, or a shift in the market environment, failing to regularly reassess your financial plan can turn what once seemed like a perfect roadmap into a map that leads you nowhere. Many get stuck in the mindset of set it and forget it, believing that once a plan is made, it will work indefinitely. This is far from reality. The financial world and life itself is in constant flux, and your plan must reflect that ongoing change. Reviewing and adjusting your financial plan every quarter is not just a good practice. It's essential for staying on track and ensuring your strategy aligns with your evolving goals and external factors. Quarterly reviews create a disciplined rhythm that forces you to pause and evaluate where you stand financially. Instead of waiting for a crisis or a year-end review, doing this every 3 months ensures you catch problems early and capitalize on opportunities quickly. This approach helps you avoid the trap of inertia, where things slowly drift off course without you realizing it. During these reviews, it's vital to take a comprehensive look at your income, expenses, savings, investments, debts, and goals. Has your income changed? Are your expenses creeping up unnoticed? Did a certain investment perform worse or better than expected? Have your priorities shifted? By addressing these questions regularly, you keep your financial decisions proactive rather than reactive. One of the biggest benefits of quarterly financial reviews is the ability to adapt to life's unpredictability with flexibility. For instance, if you received a bonus or side income that wasn't part of your original plan, you can decide to allocate it toward debt reduction, emergency savings, or investing instead of spending it impulsively. Conversely, if a major expense arises unexpectedly, such as a car repair or home maintenance, you can adjust your budget and plans accordingly without feeling overwhelmed. This continuous tweaking prevents small issues from snowballing into larger financial setbacks. It also allows you to recalibrate your savings and investment goals if the original targets no longer fit your current situation. Adjusting your financial plan quarterly also forces you to re-examine your risk tolerance and investment allocation in light of market changes or personal circumstances. For example, if your portfolio experienced significant gains, you might want to rebalance to reduce exposure to risky assets and lock in profits. Alternatively, if your risk tolerance has shifted due to personal events such as having children or nearing retirement, your asset allocation should reflect that new reality. Ignoring these changes can lead to taking on more risk than you're comfortable with or missing out on growth by being overly conservative. The quarterly review is the perfect moment to ensure that your investment strategy remains aligned with both your financial objectives and psychological comfort. Another critical part of quarterly financial reviews is goal reassessment. Goals are not static. They evolve as you grow older, your family situation changes, or your career progresses. What felt urgent or important a year ago may no longer be relevant, while new goals might emerge that require funding or focus. Maybe you initially planned to buy a home in 5 years, but now you're considering starting a business instead. Or you plan to retire early, but recently realized you want to work longer for additional security. These shifts in priorities require adjustments in your savings rate, investment strategy, or even your budgeting habits. Without regularly revisiting your goals, you risk following a plan that no longer serves you, wasting time and money on outdated objectives. The process of reviewing and adjusting your financial plan also cultivates a stronger financial awareness and discipline. When you commit to evaluating your finances every 3 months, you develop a habit of paying close attention to money matters regularly. This awareness reduces the chances of overspending, missed payments, or neglected investments. It builds confidence because you know exactly where you stand financially and what steps you need to take next. This mindset transforms money management from a dreaded chore into an empowering practice that keeps you in control of your financial future. In addition to personal reflection, quarterly reviews are an excellent opportunity to seek advice from financial professionals if necessary. Even if you have a solid plan, external insights can provide new perspectives or alert you to opportunities and risks you might not have considered. Whether it's a financial planner, tax advisor, or investment coach, Getting a second opinion during these check-ins can sharpen your strategy and help you stay ahead of changes in tax laws, investment options, or economic trends. Moreover, regular reviews help keep your emergency fund and insurance coverage adequate. Life is unpredictable, and what seemed sufficient 6 months ago might no longer provide a proper safety net. Maybe your family size has grown or your lifestyle expenses have increased. Assessing your emergency fund and insurance policies during quarterly reviews ensures you are protected against unforeseen events and reduces the financial stress that comes with unexpected setbacks. An overlooked aspect of quarterly financial reviews is how they encourage you to celebrate progress and stay motivated. When you take the time to track your achievements, whether it's paying down a chunk of debt, reaching a savings milestone, or hitting an investment target, it reinforces positive behavior. This sense of accomplishment fuels ongoing discipline, helping you avoid burnout and discouragement. It also makes the journey toward financial freedom feel more tangible and rewarding. Ultimately, the practice of reviewing and adjusting your financial plan every quarter transforms how you interact with your money. It shifts your relationship from one of passive hope to active management. You stop relying on luck or waiting for the right time, and instead take consistent, informed steps toward your goals. This habit becomes a cornerstone of financial resilience and success because it acknowledges that life is complex and ever-changing. The most effective financial plans are those that evolve with you, accommodating new realities while keeping you focused on what truly matters. In a world full of uncertainties, this approach is your anchor. It keeps you grounded during market turbulence, adapts your strategy as personal needs shift, and ensures that your resources are always aligned with your vision for the future. Regular intentional review and adjustment is not just a financial tactic, it is a mindset that empowers you to navigate complexity with confidence and clarity. When you make this practice non-negotiable, your financial journey becomes a series of manageable, purposeful steps instead of a confusing, reactive scramble. By committing to quarterly financial plan reviews, you give yourself the best chance to build sustainable wealth, avoid costly mistakes, and create a life where money serves your goals rather than controls you. This discipline ensures that no matter what twists and turns life throws your way, you remain firmly on course toward lasting financial well-being. Number 13. Live below your means, but think beyond them. It's a harsh reality that many people live paycheck to paycheck, feeling like no matter how much they earn, they can never get ahead financially. This struggle often isn't because they don't make enough money, but because their lifestyle expands to match or even exceed their income. The concept of living below your means is a hard pill to swallow in a culture that glorifies spending, flashy possessions, and immediate gratification. Yet, it remains one of the most fundamental and overlooked principles for building lasting wealth. The reality is simple. If you consistently spend more than you earn, or even just equal to it, financial freedom will always remain out of reach. But the idea of living below your means goes beyond just cutting costs. It requires intentionality, self-discipline, and a mindset shift that views money as a tool to create opportunities rather than simply a means to consume. Living below your means is not about depriving yourself or living an austere life filled with sacrifice. It's about making conscious choices that prioritize long-term stability and growth over short-term indulgence. This means carefully evaluating every expense and asking whether it truly aligns with your values and goals. For example, instead of upgrading to the latest luxury car just because you can afford it, think about how that money could be invested or saved to generate wealth down the line. It means distinguishing between wants and needs and learning to find satisfaction and happiness without constantly chasing the next material possession. This kind of financial restraint isn't easy, especially when social pressure and advertising constantly push us towards spending more. But it's the foundation that separates those who build wealth from those who remain stuck in financial struggle. Moreover, living below your means you need to budget not just for today's expenses, but for your future aspirations. It requires planning for emergencies, retirement, children's education, and any other long-term commitments you might have. This forward-thinking approach ensures that your spending habits support a broader vision of financial security and opportunity. By consistently spending less than you earn, you free up resources that can be redirected toward savings, investments, and debt reduction, all crucial components of building a strong financial foundation. Without this discipline, you risk living a life constrained by financial stress and missed opportunities. However, living below your means is not synonymous with thinking small or limiting your ambitions. Quite the opposite, thinking beyond your means involves having big, audacious goals that inspire you to manage your finances wisely. It's about visualizing the life you want decades from now and making daily financial decisions that bring you closer to that vision. This mindset encourages you to use your financial resources, strategically investing in education, acquiring skills, or starting businesses that can increase your income over time. Thinking beyond your means recognizing that wealth is not built overnight, but through consistent, deliberate actions that compound over years. It's about balancing prudence with ambition, restraint with innovation. One common mistake people make is assuming that living below their means staying small and never enjoying life. But the truth is, living below your means allows for sustainable enjoyment and financial freedom. When you're not burdened by excessive expenses or debt, you have the flexibility to take calculated risks, explore new ventures, and invest in yourself. It opens the door to experiences that enrich your life without leaving you financially vulnerable. The key is to find joy in what truly matters, whether it's quality time with loved ones, personal growth, or meaningful hobbies, not in accumulating material possessions or keeping up with others. Another critical aspect of this principle is the power of delayed gratification. In a world driven by instant rewards, learning to delay spending in favor of saving or investing can be challenging. Yet, those who master this skill unlock the greatest financial advantages. Delayed gratification means resisting the urge to buy the newest gadget, upgrade your home unnecessarily, or take lavish vacations on credit. Instead, it means focusing on long-term benefits like compound interest growth, debt freedom, or the ability to weather financial storms without stress. This discipline builds resilience and sets you apart from the crowd chasing fleeting pleasures that offer little lasting value. Living below your means also requires surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who support your financial goals rather than pressure you into spending more. Social dynamics play a huge role in our financial behaviors. When your circle values consumption and status symbols, it's easy to fall into the trap of overspending to maintain appearances. Conversely, being part of a community that prioritizes saving, investing, and mindful spending reinforces positive habits and provides encouragement during tough times. This social support is often overlooked but is a powerful factor in maintaining financial discipline over the long haul. Furthermore, transparency and honesty with yourself about your financial situation are essential. Many people avoid confronting their spending habits because it's uncomfortable to admit mistakes or lifestyle inflation. However, facing the reality of where your money goes each month empowers you to take control and make necessary changes. This self-awareness leads to smarter decisions, reduces anxiety about money, and ultimately fosters a sense of empowerment rather than helplessness. Keeping track of your spending, setting realistic limits, and periodically reviewing your progress are practical steps that reinforce living below your means. In conclusion, living below your means is not merely a frugal choice, it's a transformative lifestyle and mindset that lays the groundwork for financial independence. It demands discipline, foresight, and the courage to resist societal pressures in favor of personal empowerment. When combined with big-picture thinking and a commitment to your future, it becomes a powerful catalyst for building wealth, reducing stress, and achieving the freedom to live life on your own terms. By mastering this balance, you create a solid financial platform that supports not only survival, but growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. Living below your means while thinking beyond them is the unsung secret behind many of the world's most successful and financially secure individuals. Number 14. By appreciating assets like stocks and real estate. It's a bitter truth that many people work tirelessly, earning paychecks that barely cover their expenses, yet never seem to get closer to true financial security. The reason often lies in the kinds of things they choose to buy and hold on to. Most of what we consume every day depreciates in value the moment we spend money on it. Cars lose value, gadgets become obsolete, clothes wear out, and countless other possessions drain our finances without building any real wealth. If you want to change your financial trajectory, you must shift your focus away from buying liabilities and start acquiring assets that grow in value over time. Buying appreciating assets like stocks and real estate is the most proven way to build wealth, yet it remains overlooked or misunderstood by many because it requires patience, education, and sometimes courage. Purchasing stocks is one of the most accessible ways to own a share of companies that create value and generate profits year after year. While the stock market may seem volatile or risky, history has shown that over the long term it has consistently delivered returns well above inflation. The key lies in adopting a long-term mindset and resisting the temptation to react emotionally to short-term market swings. When you buy stocks in fundamentally strong companies or diversified index funds, you're essentially investing in future growth, innovation, and increasing corporate earnings. The dividends you receive and the capital appreciation over time compound to multiply your initial investment many times over. This power of appreciation is something that spending on consumer goods can never achieve. Yet, the hesitation to invest often comes from fear or lack of knowledge, both of which can be overcome with research, education, and gradual exposure. Real estate is another asset class that has historically appreciated in value, provided you make smart choices. Unlike the stock market, real estate is tangible. You can see, touch, and improve it. Owning property, whether it's a home, rental property, or commercial space, offers multiple avenues for wealth building. Besides potential price appreciation, real estate often provides passive income through rents, tax advantages, and leverage opportunities where you use borrowed money to amplify your returns. However, investing in real estate requires more upfront capital, due diligence, and active management compared to stocks, which can deter many from entering this arena. But for those willing to educate themselves on market cycles, locations, financing, and property management, real estate can become a powerful engine of wealth creation that also serves as a hedge against inflation. One critical reality to acknowledge is that appreciating assets take time to fulfill their potential. Unlike instant gratification purchases, these investments require patience and resilience. The value of a stock portfolio may fluctuate significantly year to year, and real estate markets may go through cycles of boom and bust. During these periods, it's easy to feel discouraged or tempted to sell at a loss. But understanding the historical context and maintaining discipline during downturns separates successful investors from those who lose money. Staying invested, continuing to add to your positions, and focusing on the long-term trajectory are essential habits when buying appreciating assets. The real wealth is made by those who hold through the volatility and resist panic. Moreover, buying appreciating assets aligns your money with the forces of growth and innovation that drive the economy forward. By owning a piece of successful businesses or properties in growing areas, you essentially become a participant in wealth creation rather than just a consumer. This shift in perspective is transformative because it changes how you view money, not as something to be spent immediately, but as a tool to generate more wealth. This mindset encourages you to allocate a significant portion of your savings toward investments that have a chance to increase in value, rather than stashing money in low-interest savings accounts or spending on depreciating items. Diversification within appreciating assets is also important. Concentrating your investments in just one stock or one property can expose you to unnecessary risks. Instead, spreading your capital across various sectors, geographic locations, and asset types can smooth out returns and reduce the impact of any one asset's poor performance. This approach requires research, strategic thinking, and sometimes the guidance of financial professionals, but it dramatically improves the odds of consistent growth over time. The goal is to build a balanced portfolio of appreciating assets that collectively outperform inflation and grow your net worth steadily. Additionally, buying appreciating assets requires financial discipline beyond just the purchase. You must continue contributing regularly to your investment portfolio or property equity to harness the power of compounding growth. This means resisting the urge to withdraw funds prematurely or diverting money to unnecessary expenses. Setting up automatic contributions and reinvesting dividends or rental income can accelerate your wealth accumulation without constant effort. The consistency of these actions, even in small amounts, builds a snowball effect that magnifies over years and decades. Tax implications should also be considered when buying appreciating assets. Different types of investments come with various tax treatments that can either enhance or diminish your returns. For example, long-term capital gains on stocks are generally taxed at a lower rate than ordinary income, and certain real estate investments offer deductions and depreciation benefits that reduce taxable income. Understanding these rules allows you to structure your investments in a way that maximizes after-tax returns, keeping more of your money working for you. Furthermore, appreciating assets offer the advantage of liquidity or partial liquidity, which is an important factor in financial planning. Stocks can typically be sold quickly if you need cash, although it's wise to avoid making impulsive sales during market downturns. Real estate is less liquid but can provide rental income or be leveraged to access funds without selling outright. This flexibility provides a safety net and options that simply don't exist with liabilities or depreciating purchases. Lastly, the habit of buying appreciating assets changes your entire relationship with money and wealth. Instead of living paycheck to paycheck, you begin to think in terms of building generational wealth, creating financial independence, and leaving a legacy. This shift inspires you to learn more about finance, stay disciplined during economic cycles, and think strategically about your money. Over time, these behaviors compound into a secure financial foundation that gives you freedom, choice, and peace of mind. In essence, buying appreciating assets like stocks and real estate is not just a financial tactic, it's a lifestyle choice that requires education, patience, and discipline. But for those willing to commit, it offers a clear path out of financial struggle and toward wealth creation. By consistently focusing on assets that grow in value rather than things that lose it, you take control of your financial future and set yourself up for long-term prosperity in a world where most people never make this crucial shift. Number 15. Diversify investments to reduce risk and increase return. It's a harsh reality that many investors, especially beginners, fall into the trap of putting all their money into one or just a few investments, hoping for quick gains, or placing all their trust in a single sector, company, or asset class. This all-or-nothing approach is often fueled by overconfidence or a lack of understanding of how markets work, but the consequences can be devastating. When those concentrated investments take a hit, it can wipe out a significant portion of your portfolio in a very short time, leaving you demoralized and financially damaged. The reality is that no single investment is guaranteed to succeed, and even the most promising opportunities carry risks. To build sustainable wealth and protect your financial future, diversifying your investments is not just advisable, it is essential. Diversification means spreading your money across a variety of asset classes, sectors, industries, and geographical regions, so the impact of any single investment's poor performance is minimized. By avoiding putting all your eggs in one basket, you reduce the volatility of your portfolio and improve the likelihood of steady, positive returns over time. This strategy is grounded in a fundamental principle of finance. Risk can be managed and reduced through diversification. When one investment falters, others may remain stable or even perform well, balancing out losses and cushioning your overall financial position. It's a practical defense against uncertainty in markets that are inherently unpredictable. One of the most effective ways to diversify is by investing across different asset classes such as stocks, bonds, real estate, and commodities. Each of these behaves differently under various economic conditions. Stocks tend to offer growth potential but can be volatile. Bonds provide more stability and income but lower growth. Real estate offers tangible value and income through rents, and commodities like gold or oil can act as hedges against inflation or geopolitical risks. Allocating your investments among these categories ensures that your portfolio is not overly exposed to the risks of any single market. Over time, this mix balances growth with protection, helping you reach your financial goals without unnecessary stress or loss. Within each asset class, further diversification is key. For example, in stocks, don't just buy shares of one company or industry. Instead, spread your investments across different sectors such as technology, healthcare, consumer goods, and energy. This reduces the risk that a downturn in one industry will severely damage your portfolio. Additionally, investing in companies of different sizes, from large, stable corporations to smaller, high-growth firms, adds another layer of risk management and opportunity. Geographical diversification is also crucial because economies and markets around the world move independently to some extent. Investing in international stocks or global funds exposes you to growth in emerging markets and developed economies alike, reducing dependence on your home country's economic performance. The rise of index funds and exchange-traded funds, ETFs, has made diversification far more accessible and affordable for everyday investors. These funds pool money from thousands of investors to buy a wide range of securities, giving you instant exposure to an entire market or sector with a single purchase. This allows you to build a diversified portfolio without the complexity and high cost of buying each stock or bond individually. Moreover, ETFs and index funds typically have lower fees than actively managed funds, helping you keep more of your investment returns over the long term. By using these tools wisely, you can create a broad and balanced investment mix that aligns with your risk tolerance and financial objectives. While diversification is crucial, it is important to recognize that it does not eliminate all investment risk or guarantee profits. It reduces unsystematic risk, the risk specific to individual companies or sectors, but cannot shield you from systemic risk that affects the entire market or economy, such as recessions or geopolitical crises. However, by diversifying, you prepare yourself to weather such storms with less damage and greater peace of mind. Your portfolio will be more resilient and positioned to recover and grow over time, unlike one that is narrowly focused and vulnerable to sharp losses. Building a diversified portfolio also requires regular review and adjustment. Markets evolve, economies change, and your own financial situation or goals may shift. Over time, some investments may grow faster than others, causing your portfolio's allocation to drift away from your intended balance. Rebalancing, selling portions of overrepresented assets and buying those underrepresented helps maintain your desired risk level and investment strategy. This disciplined approach prevents your portfolio from becoming unintentionally risky or concentrated and reinforces a long-term mindset that keeps emotions out of decision-making. Another important aspect of diversification is the integration of different investment strategies and timelines. For instance, you might combine growth stocks with dividend-paying stocks, mix long-term investments with shorter-term bonds, or hold both actively managed funds and passive index funds. Each of these approaches has unique advantages and risk profiles, and their combination adds further depth and resilience to your portfolio. By considering your personal risk tolerance, time horizon, and financial goals, you can tailor diversification to fit your unique circumstances rather than following a one-size-fits-all formula. Furthermore, diversification is not limited to just financial investments. You can diversify your overall financial life by having multiple income streams, maintaining emergency savings, investing in your skills and education, and protecting your assets through insurance. All these elements contribute to a more secure and balanced financial foundation. Just as you wouldn't rely solely on one type of investment, don't depend exclusively on a single source of income or neglect risk management in other areas of your life. The principle of spreading risk and balancing opportunities applies universally. Many investors overlook diversification because it requires patience, discipline, and sometimes accepting more modest returns in the short term. The temptation to chase hot stocks, trendy sectors, or get-rich-quick schemes can be strong, especially when media headlines highlight spectacular gains. However, those quick wins are often fleeting and come with outsized risk. In contrast, a diversified portfolio may not generate headlines with jaw-dropping returns every month, but it steadily grows wealth over time while protecting you from catastrophic losses. This steady, less volatile growth is the foundation of financial freedom and security. Education plays a critical role in effective diversification. Understanding the nature of different assets, their risk-return profiles, and how they interact within a portfolio empowers you to make informed choices rather than following rumors or speculation. Regularly learning about new asset classes, financial products, and market conditions equips you to adapt your diversification strategy as the world changes. It also reduces anxiety and indecision by providing a clear framework for making investment decisions. Finally, diversification helps foster a healthier emotional relationship with money. When your investments are spread wisely, you're less likely to panic during market downturns or become overly exuberant during booms. Number 16. Learn tax strategies to legally keep more income. It's a sobering reality that most people work tirelessly to earn money only to see a significant chunk of their hard-earned income swallowed up by taxes. For many, tax season is a source of stress and confusion, leading to missed opportunities to optimize their finances legally and efficiently. The truth is, understanding and applying smart tax strategies is not just for wealthy individuals or finance experts. It's a crucial skill that anyone serious about building and preserving wealth must master. Without a solid grasp of how taxes affect your income, investments, and business ventures, you could be giving away far more money than necessary, diminishing your ability to save, invest, and grow your net worth. Taxes are complex, layered, and vary depending on where you live, how much you earn, and the sources of your income. Yet, within this complexity lie numerous legal tools and strategies designed to minimize tax liability and maximize what you keep in your pocket. Learning these strategies is not about evading taxes that's illegal, but about understanding the system well enough to take full advantage of deductions, credits, deferrals, and structures allowed by law. The sooner you commit to educating yourself on tax matters, the better positioned you will be to keep more of your money, reduce unnecessary payments, and make smarter financial decisions. One of the foundational strategies in legal tax reduction is to fully utilize available deductions and credits. Deductions reduce your taxable income, which directly lowers the amount of tax you owe. Common deductions include mortgage interest, charitable donations, medical expenses, and business-related costs if you're self-employed. Credits, on the other hand, directly reduce your tax bill and sometimes result in refunds. Examples include education credits, child tax credits, and energy efficiency credits. Knowing what qualifies and how to document these expenses can save thousands of dollars annually. Many people miss out simply because they don't understand or overlook these opportunities, leaving money on the table year after year. Beyond basic deductions and credits, structuring your income and investments with tax efficiency in mind is a game changer. For example, different types of investment income, such as capital gains, dividends, or interest, are taxed differently. Holding investments for more than a year to benefit from lower long-term capital gains rates can significantly reduce taxes. Similarly, investing through tax-advantaged accounts like IRAs, 401ks, or health savings accounts, HSAs, shelters money from taxes either when contributed or when withdrawn, depending on the account type. These accounts also offer compound growth that isn't eroded by annual taxes, accelerating your wealth building over time. If you run a business or have side income, exploring business structures such as LLCs, S corporations, or partnerships can unlock additional tax benefits. These structures often allow for deductions of business expenses, retirement plan contributions, and health insurance premiums in ways that reduce taxable income more effectively than if you were operating as a sole proprietor. Additionally, self-employed individuals can take advantage of deductions for home offices, travel, and equipment, all of which help shrink tax bills legally. The key lies in meticulous record-keeping and understanding which expenses qualify under tax law, reinforcing the importance of continual education or professional guidance. Another powerful tax strategy is income shifting or splitting, which involves legally redistributing income among family members or entities to take advantage of lower tax brackets. For instance, gifting assets to children or spouses in lower tax brackets can reduce overall family taxes, provided it's done within the limits set by tax authorities. Trusts and other estate planning tools also allow you to manage how your wealth is passed on while minimizing estate taxes. Although these strategies can be more complex and require careful planning and legal advice, their impact on preserving wealth across generations is profound. Deferral of taxes is another principle that smart taxpayers embrace. Instead of paying taxes up front, you delay them until a later date, often when you are in a lower tax bracket, such as during retirement. Retirement accounts, annuities, and certain types of insurance policies are examples of vehicles that allow you to defer tax payments. The advantage here is that your investments continue to grow unhindered by immediate taxation, and you gain flexibility in managing your tax burden strategically over time. Understanding when and how to utilize deferrals can turn tax planning into a tool for compounding wealth, not just a necessary expense. Tax loss harvesting is a more advanced but effective technique that investors use to reduce their tax liabilities. It involves selling investments that have declined in value to realize losses, which can offset capital gains from other investments or even reduce ordinary income within limits. By systematically applying this method, you can reduce taxes owed without significantly altering your overall investment strategy. This requires attention to timing and knowledge of specific tax rules, such as the wash sale rule, but when done correctly, it enhances after-tax returns and boosts overall portfolio performance. Staying compliant with tax laws is crucial, and that includes timely filing, accurate reporting, and honest declarations. The tax code is subject to change frequently, with new rules and incentives introduced regularly. Therefore, keeping yourself updated through trusted sources, tax professionals, or educational programs is necessary to avoid costly mistakes or missed opportunities. Many people avoid dealing with taxes until the last minute, resulting in errors, penalties, or overlooking critical tax-saving strategies. Developing a proactive approach to tax planning as a year-round discipline rather than a once-a-year chore is what separates financially savvy individuals from the rest. One of the biggest obstacles to effective tax planning is the emotional and psychological barrier people face with money matters. Taxes can feel overwhelming, complicated, or even intimidating. Yet, approaching taxes as a key part of your financial strategy rather than a burden can transform your relationship with money. It requires curiosity, patience, and the willingness to invest time and sometimes resources in learning or hiring experts. The payoff is substantial because every dollar saved in taxes is a dollar that can be reinvested, saved, or spent toward your financial goals without guilt or regret. In addition to personal benefits, mastering tax strategies contributes to financial independence on a larger scale. When you optimize your tax situation, you have more capital to build emergency funds, acquire appreciating assets, and pursue additional income streams. You also gain control over your financial future by reducing one of the biggest and most unavoidable expenses many face. Whether your goal is early retirement, business growth, or generational wealth, efficient tax planning is an indispensable piece of the puzzle that can accelerate progress and shield you from unnecessary losses. It's important to remember that tax planning is not a set-it-and-forget-it task. Laws change, life circumstances evolve, and financial goals shift. Regularly revisiting your tax situation, especially after major life events such as marriage, buying a home, starting a business, or changing jobs, ensures that you adapt your strategies to maintain efficiency. Number 17. Develop high-income skills to increase earning potential. Most people wake up every day feeling trapped in a cycle where their paycheck barely matches their expenses. The harsh truth is that relying solely on a traditional job with fixed income severely limits financial growth. The cost of living rises steadily, inflation chips away at your purchasing power, and without a strategic approach, your earnings remain stagnant while your financial stress increases. If you want to break free from this limiting cycle, one of the most powerful and transformative moves you can make is to develop high-income skills that significantly boost your earning potential and create pathways to wealth that go far beyond what a standard job can offer. High-income skills are specialized abilities that are in high demand, commanding premium compensation because they solve critical problems or create immense value for businesses and individuals. These skills aren't about getting a paycheck for clocking in hours, but about producing results that others are willing to pay top dollar for. They can range from advanced technical skills like software development, digital marketing, or data analysis to creative talents such as copywriting, salesmanship, or public speaking. What unites these skills is their capacity to generate substantial income, whether through employment, freelancing, entrepreneurship, or consulting. The journey to developing high-income skills begins with a mindset shift. It requires understanding that your income is directly linked to the value you bring to the marketplace, not just the hours you work or your job title. Investing in yourself through education, practice, and real-world application is non-negotiable. This might mean dedicating time outside of your regular job to learn a coding language, master advanced Excel, or improve your persuasion techniques. It might involve taking online courses, attending workshops, or finding mentors who have already succeeded in the skill you want to acquire. The road isn't always easy, but the payoff is exponential because high-income skills unlock the door to multiple avenues for earning more money. What many overlook is that developing a high-income skill also enhances your leverage in negotiations. Whether you are discussing a salary raise, pitching your services as a freelancer, or starting your own business, the more specialized and in-demand your skill set, the stronger your position. This leverage allows you to command higher fees or salaries, negotiate better contracts, and attract premium clients or employers. Instead of settling for the average wage or being stuck in low-paying roles, you begin to dictate terms that align with your financial goals. Another critical aspect of high-income skills is versatility and scalability. Many of these skills can be applied in various industries and formats. For example, digital marketing skills can be used by e-commerce brands, local businesses, non-profits, or even personal brands. Copywriting can be leveraged to sell products, influence audiences, or build a strong online presence. These skills also lend themselves well to freelancing or building your own business, where your income potential is not capped by a fixed salary, but limited only by your ability to scale your efforts and reach more clients. While the idea of learning a new high-income skill can feel overwhelming, the truth is that consistent, focused effort over time leads to mastery and results. Start by identifying which skills are most relevant to your interests and market demand. Research job boards, freelance platforms, and industry trends to understand where the highest earning opportunities lie. Then commit to deliberate practice, breaking down the skill into manageable parts, applying what you learn immediately, and seeking feedback to improve. Over time, your proficiency grows, and with it, your confidence and income. It's important to highlight that developing high-income skills often requires embracing discomfort and stepping out of your comfort zone. You may face rejection, struggle with learning curves, or have to put in long hours initially. However, these challenges are temporary barriers on the path to long-term financial freedom. The alternative, remaining in a low-paying job with little growth, only prolongs financial frustration and limits your future options. By pushing through the discomfort, you equip yourself with tools that can dramatically change your financial trajectory. High-income skills also provide a buffer against economic uncertainty. In today's rapidly evolving job market, automation and globalization threaten many traditional jobs. However, skills that require creativity, problem-solving, strategic thinking, and human connection tend to be more resilient. By mastering these, you future-proof your career and income streams, ensuring you remain valuable regardless of shifts in the economy or technology. This adaptability is key to sustained financial security and growth. Furthermore, developing such skills opens doors to entrepreneurship and passive income opportunities. For instance, a skilled software developer might create a product or app that generates recurring revenue. A talented marketer could launch courses or write books that sell while they sleep. The ability to monetize a high-value skill in multiple ways amplifies your earning power and builds wealth faster than relying on a single paycheck. This multiplicity of income streams enhances your financial independence and reduces vulnerability to job loss or market downturns. The process of honing high-income skills also fosters discipline, resilience, and a growth mindset, all qualities that spill over into other areas of life. The discipline to learn and practice consistently improves time management and focus. Resilience, developed through overcoming setbacks, builds mental toughness that helps you navigate life's financial and personal challenges. Adopting a growth mindset that skills can be improved with effort opens you to continuous learning and innovation, which are essential in an ever-changing world. It's essential to view the development of high-income skills not as a one-time effort, but as an ongoing commitment. The most successful professionals constantly refine and update their abilities to stay competitive. Technology evolves, industries shift, and consumer needs change. Staying relevant means committing to lifelong learning and being proactive in expanding your skill set. This dedication transforms you into a high-value asset who can command premium compensation and create abundant financial opportunities throughout life. In practical terms, start small but think big. Pick one high-income skill that aligns with your interests and market needs. Set measurable goals, such as completing a course within 3 months or landing your first freelance client. Use free or affordable resources online to build foundational knowledge. Then, seek real-world projects to apply what you've learned and build a portfolio. Network with professionals in the field and solicit feedback to accelerate growth. Gradually, expand your skill set or deepen expertise to increase your value further. Ultimately, developing high-income skills is a profound act of empowerment. It shifts your role from a passive employee to an active wealth creator. It gives you control over your financial destiny, increases your bargaining power, and opens doors to opportunities that many only dream of. This transformation not only improves your current financial situation, but sets a foundation for generational wealth and true financial independence. The time, effort, and perseverance you invest in building these skills will pay dividends far beyond what any traditional job can offer, creating a life defined by choice, freedom, and abundance. Number 18. Protect wealth with insurance and emergency funds. Life has a brutal way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. For most people, financial setbacks come suddenly and without warning, whether it's a medical emergency, an unexpected job loss, a car accident, or even a natural disaster. These events don't just strain your emotions, they can shatter your financial foundation in an instant. Without proper protection, years of hard work and careful saving can be wiped away by a single catastrophic event. This stark reality makes it absolutely essential to shield your wealth and safeguard your financial future through 2 key strategies: comprehensive insurance coverage and a well-funded emergency fund. Insurance is often viewed as an expense, a monthly bill to pay that doesn't feel tangible until you desperately need it. But in truth, insurance is one of the most critical tools for preserving wealth. Whether it's health insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, or property and casualty insurance, each type serves as a safety net that can prevent financial ruin. For example, a major health crisis can lead to enormous medical bills that might bankrupt someone without coverage. Disability insurance protects your income if an injury or illness prevents you from working. Life insurance ensures that your loved ones are not burdened with debt or financial hardship if you pass away unexpectedly. Property insurance shields your assets, like your home or car, from loss or damage. The challenge is that many people either underestimate the importance of adequate insurance or simply avoid dealing with it due to complexity or cost concerns. This mindset is incredibly dangerous. The cost of insurance premiums is often minuscule compared to the financial devastation that can occur without it. Understanding your personal risk profile and selecting appropriate insurance policies is not optional. It's a necessary step toward financial resilience. It requires research, consultation with professionals if needed, and a willingness to invest in protection that may never be used, but will prove invaluable if the worst happens. Parallel to insurance, an emergency fund is your first line of defense against unexpected financial shocks. This fund is not a rainy day fund for planned expenses or luxuries. It is strictly reserved for true emergencies, those unpredictable moments that could otherwise derail your finances. Ideally, an emergency fund should cover at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses, including rent or mortgage, utilities, food, transportation, and debt payments. This buffer provides a financial cushion that allows you to breathe, make rational decisions, and avoid desperate measures like high-interest borrowing or dipping into long-term investments at a loss. Building an emergency fund requires discipline and commitment because it means setting aside money that you cannot touch for non-emergencies. It might feel slow or frustrating, especially when immediate desires or opportunities seem more pressing. However, the peace of mind that comes with knowing you have a safety net is priceless. When you face job loss or an urgent home repair, having an emergency fund turns a potential crisis into a manageable situation. It stops you from falling into debt traps or liquidating your investments prematurely, preserving your financial progress. One common mistake is to overlook the interaction between insurance and emergency funds. They are complementary, not substitutes. Insurance covers large, catastrophic events that would be devastating without it, but many smaller emergencies or gaps in coverage still require cash on hand. For example, insurance might cover hospital bills, but you still need money to cover everyday expenses during recovery if you can't work. A well-balanced financial plan acknowledges this dual necessity, ensuring you have both insurance protection and accessible emergency savings. Moreover, protecting your wealth isn't just about reacting to crises, it's about proactive risk management. This means periodically reviewing your insurance policies to ensure they remain adequate as your life changes. Perhaps you've bought a new home, started a family, or changed jobs. Each of these life events alters your risk and protection needs. Regularly updating your coverage prevents gaps and ensures you are not overpaying for unnecessary protection or underinsured against significant risks. An often overlooked but crucial element in wealth protection is the role of legal tools like wills, trusts, and powers of attorney. These are not insurance policies, but they function as preventive measures to safeguard your assets and ensure your wishes are honored in cases of incapacitation or death. Without clear estate planning, your wealth may be tied up in legal battles or passed on inefficiently, costing your heirs time, money, and peace of mind. Integrating these tools into your financial protection strategy creates a holistic shield around your assets and family. Financial literacy plays a vital role here as well. Understanding what each type of insurance covers, the exclusions, the premiums, and the claims process can prevent costly mistakes. Many people sign up for policies without fully grasping what they are getting, leading to denied claims or inadequate coverage when they need help the most. Educating yourself or working with trusted advisors helps you make informed decisions that maximize your protection. Finally, protecting wealth is about mindset and prioritization. It means accepting that setbacks are part of life, and preparing for them is not pessimistic, but wise. It requires seeing insurance premiums and emergency savings contributions not as burdens, but as investments in your financial security. This protective foundation enables you to take calculated risks with your investments, pursue entrepreneurial ventures, or develop high-income skills with less fear because you know you have a safety net. In summary, wealth protection through insurance and emergency funds is the cornerstone of any solid financial plan. It transforms uncertainty into manageable risk, turning potential disasters into mere bumps in the road. Without this foundation, all other financial strategies, whether investing, building income streams, or developing skills, remain vulnerable to being undone by unexpected shocks. Protecting your wealth ensures that your hard-earned money and your financial goals endure through the unpredictable twists of life, granting you true peace of mind and the freedom to focus on growing your wealth with confidence and resilience. Number 19. Build strong money habits through daily small actions. Most people imagine that financial success comes from big, dramatic moves, winning the lottery, landing a massive promotion, or making a huge investment. The reality, however, is far less glamorous but infinitely more reliable. True wealth is built through consistent, daily small actions that form strong money habits. These habits, often overlooked or underestimated, create the foundation for lasting financial health and freedom. Without them, even the best strategies can falter, because long-term success depends on behavior, discipline, and incremental progress, not occasional bursts of effort or luck. The struggle for many is that money habits are deeply tied to emotions, environment, and mindset. Impulse spending, procrastination on budgeting, or ignoring financial education are patterns developed over years, sometimes influenced by upbringing or societal pressures. Breaking these habits requires more than just good intentions. It demands a deliberate, structured approach to rewiring your daily financial behaviors. This transformation isn't about perfection, but progress, about doing better consistently, one day at a time. At the heart of building strong money habits is the understanding that small actions compound over time, just like money itself. Choosing to save a few dollars regularly, tracking expenses each day, or reading a financial article weekly might seem trivial in the moment, but these small wins accumulate and lead to significant financial advantages. These habits build momentum, creating confidence and a sense of control that motivates continued improvement. Without this momentum, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the complexity of finances and give up before seeing any results. The first step in cultivating these habits is awareness. This means consciously observing your daily financial choices and acknowledging patterns without judgment. Are you checking your bank balance regularly? Do you review receipts or track spending in any form? Are you delaying bill payments or letting credit card balances grow without a plan? Awareness opens the door for change because it shines a light on areas that need attention. From there, setting simple, manageable goals aligned with your financial priorities makes these habits tangible and achievable. For example, committing to recording every expense each day is a powerful habit that many overlook. This practice prevents mindless spending and provides clarity on where your money is actually going. It's often shocking to realize how small purchases add up and divert funds from savings or investments. Once tracked, you can identify unnecessary spending and redirect that money toward your financial goals. Over time, this habit fosters discipline and mindfulness that affects all financial decisions, no matter how big or small. Another crucial habit is automating positive financial behaviors. Setting up automatic transfers to savings or investment accounts eliminates the temptation to spend what you should be saving. It reduces decision fatigue and enforces consistency without relying solely on willpower. Automations ensure your financial progress never stalls due to forgetfulness or distractions. Coupled with regular review, daily, weekly, or monthly, this creates a feedback loop that keeps you aligned with your goals and adaptable to changing circumstances. Reading and learning about money daily or weekly is a habit that compounds knowledge and empowers better decisions. The financial world is vast and constantly evolving. Staying informed protects you from scams, helps you spot opportunities, and refines your strategies. Even dedicating just 10 minutes a day to financial education creates a massive advantage over time. This habit also shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, seeing money management as a skill to master rather than a source of stress or confusion. Building strong money habits also means developing the discipline to resist instant gratification. In a world saturated with marketing, credit, and convenience, delaying gratification is challenging but crucial. Choosing to wait, save, or budget before spending rewires your brain to prioritize long-term goals over fleeting pleasures. This restraint is the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and building a sustainable financial future. Each time you resist an impulse purchase or choose a more frugal option, you strengthen this muscle, making future decisions easier. Accountability plays a significant role in habit formation. Sharing your financial goals and progress with a trusted friend, partner, or community creates social pressure and support that can keep you on track. Many find that discussing money openly breaks taboos and builds motivation. Some even use apps or journals to track habits publicly or privately, reinforcing consistency. This external reinforcement helps when motivation wanes or when life's distractions threaten your financial routine. It's also important to celebrate small victories along the way. Recognizing progress, no matter how incremental, fuels motivation and reinforces the positive habits you are cultivating. Whether it's successfully sticking to a budget for a week, paying off a small debt, or reaching a savings milestone, these wins keep you engaged and remind you that change is possible. Financial habits are not about instant perfection, but about ongoing commitment, learning, and improvement. Lastly, building strong money habits creates a ripple effect throughout life. Improved financial discipline reduces stress and anxiety, improves relationships by removing money conflicts, and enhances overall well-being. With stable habits, you can focus more on opportunities for growth, investment, and wealth building instead of constantly managing crises or scrambling to make ends meet. These habits also set an example for family and future generations, embedding financial literacy and responsibility as a legacy. In essence, the path to financial success is not paved by a single monumental event, but by the accumulation of daily small actions that build powerful money habits. These habits enable you to manage resources wisely, avoid costly mistakes, and create a resilient foundation for all other financial strategies. They transform your mindset and behavior, turning financial management from a source of stress into a tool for freedom. Investing in these habits pays dividends not only in wealth, but in confidence, security, and peace of mind that last a lifetime. Number 20. Think long-term and stay consistent with discipline. Most people are trapped in the vicious cycle of chasing quick wins, instant gratification, and short-term gains. It's a harsh reality that almost everyone struggles with. The desire to see immediate results often outweighs the patience needed to build lasting wealth. We live in a world of fast food, fast information, and fast success stories. But financial freedom rarely follows such an accelerated path. The truth is, real financial security and growth come from thinking long-term and maintaining relentless discipline over years, even decades. This mindset shift is the cornerstone of wealth creation, yet it is often the most difficult hurdle to overcome because it requires unwavering patience, resilience, and self-control in the face of uncertainty and temptation. Long-term thinking means viewing your finances as a marathon, not a sprint. It's about planting seeds today that will grow into a forest tomorrow, rather than harvesting whatever fruit is immediately available. This approach requires an understanding that markets fluctuate, economies cycle, and setbacks are inevitable, but these are not reasons to abandon your plan. They are reasons to stick with it. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active commitment to your strategy, knowing that time is your greatest ally in compounding returns, reducing risks, and navigating volatility. The power of long-term thinking becomes evident when you resist impulsive decisions triggered by short-term market noise or emotional reactions, and instead stay focused on your financial goals. Consistency is the practical expression of this long-term vision. Discipline means showing up day after day, month after month, making steady contributions to your savings and investments regardless of market conditions or personal circumstances. It means budgeting meticulously, avoiding unnecessary expenses, and resisting the urge to dip into funds prematurely. When you are consistent, you create a habit and structure that automates progress and makes financial growth almost inevitable. Over time, small disciplined actions accumulate into substantial wealth, and the emotional stress that comes with unpredictability diminishes because you know your plan is grounded in sound principles. One of the hardest challenges in thinking long-term is overcoming the psychological discomfort that comes with delayed rewards. Humans are wired to prefer immediate gratification, which is why many abandon saving or investing when results don't show quickly or when faced with tempting purchases or lifestyle upgrades. This is where discipline is tested the most. Long-term thinking demands that you resist these impulses and maintain a clear vision of your future self, someone who reaps the benefits of your current sacrifices. Building this vision takes mental strength and sometimes external support, like financial coaching or peer accountability groups, to stay motivated during tough times. Another key element is adaptability within a long-term framework. Staying consistent doesn't mean rigidly following a plan without adjustment. Life changes, markets evolve, and unexpected events happen. Thinking long-term includes regularly reviewing your financial goals and strategies, learning from experiences, and making informed changes without losing sight of the bigger picture. Discipline is not blind stubbornness. It's the balance between perseverance and flexibility. This mindset keeps you grounded during downturns and cautious during booms, protecting your capital while positioning you for growth. Long-term thinking also changes how you perceive risk. Instead of fearing volatility, you understand it as part of the journey, temporary setbacks that smooth out over time. This perspective helps you avoid panic selling or chasing trends that promise quick returns but carry high risks. Staying disciplined means sticking to asset allocation, diversification, and risk management strategies aligned with your time horizon and goals. It means trusting the process of compounding growth and reinvestment, knowing that wealth builds gradually when nurtured consistently. Moreover, the value of compound interest can only be fully realized with time. The longer your money remains invested, the greater the exponential growth it experiences. Those who start early and remain disciplined enjoy the advantage of compounding returns, multiplying their wealth manifold. Conversely, starting late or being inconsistent drastically reduces this benefit. Long-term thinking reinforces the importance of starting now and committing to continuous contributions, no matter how small, to maximize the power of compounding. This mindset also extends beyond investments into all financial decisions. Whether it's developing skills, building businesses, or managing debts, thinking long-term involves planning for sustainable growth and stability rather than quick fixes. For example, investing in education or high-income skills might not provide immediate income but pays off richly over a career. Similarly, paying off debts methodically rather than opting for minimal payments saves money and stress in the long run. Every decision is weighed against how it supports your enduring financial vision. The biggest obstacle to long-term discipline is often the cultural narrative that celebrates overnight success and instant wealth. Social media amplifies this illusion, making patience feel outdated or futile. Recognizing this cultural bias is crucial to realign your mindset. Wealth building is neither glamorous nor fast for most people. It's about steady, sometimes boring dedication that yields extraordinary results over time. Embracing this truth frees you from comparison traps and empowers you to focus on your unique journey. Lastly, thinking long-term with discipline creates freedom, not just financial, but mental and emotional freedom. When your financial foundation is secure through consistent, deliberate effort, you gain confidence to pursue bigger opportunities and weather life's uncertainties. This freedom enables you to make choices based on your values and goals, rather than immediate pressures or crises. It also sets a powerful example for those around you, demonstrating that real success comes from endurance and thoughtful planning. In conclusion, adopting a long-term perspective combined with unwavering discipline is the final essential step in building lasting wealth. It requires patience, consistency, adaptability, and a mindset that values future rewards over fleeting temptations. Those who master this approach harness time as their greatest financial ally, transforming daily actions into a legacy of security and prosperity. Thinking long-term isn't easy, but it's the most reliable path to true financial independence and peace of mind, enabling you to live life on your own terms without sacrificing your future.